Hi all. So recently I saw on a Car Kernel channel, he posted a video about what type of smoke coming from exhaust can mean. And I was cool at the beginning. Before I watched it, I was thinking like, well, I know that nothing bad is coming from my GX's exhaust, because exhausts are actually clean, and I'm not worried about white smoke, knowing that that's mostly just a vapor. But later he touched it on a sweet smell in a white smoke, and that's what got me worried, because one of them, this particular GX, is something it has. It's a little bit of very specific, I would describe it as a sweet smoke for some short period of time after you initial start up the engine. And the explanation from AMD was that it might be coolant seeping through the header gaskets and indicating the early signs of the potential issues and the failure. That got me worried, because the 2UZFE is one of the reasons I have this Lexus, and I don't want it to die prematurely on me. So this particular one I bought like 4 years ago with 195k on it, and now it has 225k. So I put 30k on it. Not much. I didn't have any problem with it. It didn't burn the oil. It didn't consume the coolant. I do change oil frequently, every 3k miles, and I did flush the coolant first time this year. So I'm trying to take care of it, and like I said, it was mechanically satisfactory, very reliable. So here it was sitting, it's a cool morning, and it was sitting like for a week after a long drive. So I thought it would be a good idea to record it and make an inspection myself in the engine. And I did walked around, and I smelled the smoke. It did have this very sweet smell to it, but at the end it dissipated. Like during the first 4 minutes of idling, it just went away, and then it was just a normal ugly smoke, like you can think. So anyways, I got a tool from Amazon, a borescope, to inspect it, to see if I have anything leaking into the cylinder walls after it's sitting. And of course, to do so, I went for a drive. I drive it to warm it up and a little bit more aggressively, so it's for sure pressurizes the system, because that was one of the explanations AMD gave, that after it, the pressure of the system is seeping through the head gaskets into the cylinder walls. So I let it cool, and I began my inspection with the borescope. Okay, here I'm pulling out first spark plug from the cylinder 1, and those numeration will go as they in the books: 1, 3, 5, 7 on the right side, and 2, 4, 6, 8 on the left side. So borescope goes in, and the first look at the cylinder 1, piston 1. I was surprised to see what this fish scale, or I don't know how to call it, like a dragon scale on the top of the cylinder means. Like, I didn't expect it to see. I never saw anything like this. There is places where it's missing, and also there is different discoloration or pigmentation, as you can see on it. Cylinder walls, honing is present. That was nice to see, but there is also scratches, and there is this scaling, right? Or that kind of spot when it's like when honing is missing, when it let's see, like here it's like a mirror, right? So apparently the description, the cause of it could be like poor oil maintenance at some point of life. Well, I just hope that my maintenance will not contribute to this, making it worse. So here this part is a little bit shiny, so it's like wet, but it doesn't look like it came from the wall, and if it dripped from the top, we will see. So this part, little bit signs of wet, was in the right corner of the screen, and it also looks like some soot, kind of, it's like cleaner part. It doesn't mean that it getting like washer pressure blasted, you know, like from it gets wet and then it starts, and therefore it like peels off. But the amount of this soot, it's not that horrible, I think. And I think it looks normal. The valves, the pistons look okay. Cylinder 3, spark plug. Those are OEMs. I put them like 20k ago. They look dry. They look, I think, fine. The piston head itself looks just like another one. I just don't see any wet spot on it, much like on the other one. It seemed like it had probably in the past. The cylinder walls again have honing, probably in a little bit better shape than on cylinder 1. However, here you can see it has a spot where with the scratches, it's like a vertical scratches. The same on the other side. Probably one of the previous owners really make it starve on oil a bit, but I don't notice any oil consumption or oil burn, so maybe it was not that significant of a damage. Well, I would still like to hear any comments on this account. Could it be that some of these scales, I call them, peel off the head and that cause these scratches? Could it be? So looking on at the top and a cylinder 3. So here it looks like some kind of dark seepage or gunk, I don't know, at one spot, and here's a more of a wet spot on the top. Not sure if that would form a drip to, or more drips to cause a puddle. I would not say so. It's just a little bit wet, and to me, what can it be, like a leftovers or some kind of oil just sipping, and wouldn't be a coolant, right? The coolant would be coming from the gaskets on the right, if you can see now. But I'm not saying nothing is coming from there neither, because it's probably hard to say due to the very little amount of it. Overall, could it be normal? Yeah, taking a look around the different spots. Not really concerning what I'm seeing. I mean, after all, it's 200k plus on it. Okay, spark plug from the cylinder number 5. Again, it looks fine to me. And look inside the cylinder number 5. So this one sits high, so I cannot see the cylinder walls. I barely can see the top side of it, and that wet spot, it didn't produce any puddle on the top of the piston though. Here again the same picture, the scale peeled off from the piston and a little bit wet top of the cylinder, and nothing really coming from the head gasket that I'm trying to spin around here and take a look. It's not easy to control that thing I'm spinning around. I actually standing outside also spinning myself around because I just can't twist and rotate that cable with the camera. So sometimes there is a loss of control. But still, not much different from the other ones so far. Even there is some sort of a drip wood form. Okay, cylinder number 7. Spark plug looks fine. Dive inside cylinder number 7. Again, it looks dry from the top. Spots with missing scales, so like that's what I call it. On all of them practically, that some top portion of cylinder wall had this a little bit like a rusty area. I don't know, like here you can see those. Would it mean that because of that it stayed? I got it from auction, so I know for sure it stays there for a couple, probably months unused. So could it be since then? I don't know, maybe it stayed unused more than once, judging by the multiple these rusty layers at the top. I don't know. So the top of the cylinder walls a little bit wet. Let me see if I will focus better. It's very difficult to manipulate when the piston sits so high. But at least I don't think it's different from the others that what already was inspected. Head gaskets look fine. I'm trying to make my way around. Going on the passenger side, cylinder number 2. Okay looking spark plug to me. Dry. Doesn't have any soot on it and kind of gunk. Dry. Everything around shows the sign of the same cylinder honing missing due to this I don't know, polishing, scaling stuff that probably again caused by that some poor oil maintenance. The piston head looks like just every other one. I don't know, such inspection would be nice to do before buying car. I'm not sure how many people would be supportive, the selling owners. Yeah, I would actually like to know if this scaling at all, as it peels off. Here, on this side, we can see those scratches better. Do they cause for real such a damage? And can it continue peeling off under normal use? So I don't know if in this one it's a little bit thin, not focusing right on this now, but there was look like a puddle in it. Okay, let's look up at the top around if we find any source of big problems, any leaks. Again, there is some moist, like I don't know, looks like oil to me. Yeah, I remind of at this point it was driven and it just cooled down engine, like driven 2 hours ago. That's probably something like this scaling was peeled off and it was like smashed off the wall. Like again, I don't know if that can cause the scratches even under normal maintenance in the future. I don't know how much will it continue damaging the walls of this cylinder walls. Look at this. Wow, even some like metal pieces in it, like you can see some shining back, like those. But overall, it doesn't look like any major issue is going on. I mean, it's become probably part of the surface already, I hope. I don't see any major issues. I mean, please correct me if I'm missing something. This is why I'm posting it. Okay, spark plug number 4. Yeah, same picture again. Now it's sitting high, so not much room to inspect the walls. But here, this wall shows me this little piece that is gonna be similar like a previous one, with some scales being peeled off and just pushed into the cylinder wall itself. Like I didn't drive it extremely hard ever. Like it did receive few pushes from me, of course, during these years, but it wasn't ever like I was torturing hour after hour the engine. So I wouldn't blame myself for this, for anything we see here. However, I will probably be lighter on it anyways in the future. So you're looking around the picture just like on the other one. Cylinder, a little bit of the moisture around, but nothing that I would identify as a head gasket leak. Again, it also has this spot with a gunk, but to me it's like something like old, probably happened a while ago, and now it's just there. Okay, now cylinder number 7. The spark plug again looks okay, but a little bit wet, I think. This one particular, you can see it on it. Not much, but still. Yeah, piston head looks fine. The wall again has similar scratches and missing honing. This head not that dark, looks like a little bit brighter, I would say, this piston. And looking up, looks like the moisture a little bit goes a little bit lower on this one. Yeah, a portion of the side with this gunk present. Yeah, look around. I don't see any big drip from the head gasket that would be forming at this point. Looking back. So here actually there is a little bit more at this point moisture, and there is a drip forming, but it's forming around a valve, about exhaust, and about around intake also. This one is actually the first drip we can see, but that's more like a oil to me. At some point I actually smelled the camera and I felt like a gas. It smelled like a gas to me, like a probably a mixture of things, but so even seeing this drip and this one is a little bit open, looks like a little bit open. I'm trying to wet the camera to smell it later, to like sample it. Okay, the last cylinder here, number 8. The spark plug looks okayish, also like the every other one. Yeah, this one's sitting high. The walls are similarly slightly wet at the top. A little bit difficult to inspect with such a little room, but still. So head gasket, as I'm focusing on now, doesn't show any issue. Like here is a little bit wet stars, and then there's here this gunk part, I call it strip starts. Nothing that would be major. Of course, can't very well look at the valves because there's just no much room, but let's see. I need to try my best. Yeah, just focusing on this spot, trying to zoom in. Again, looks like that's a continuous process. Probably at some point it just drips probably under this valve, and it goes from there. It's just then blasting these peels off, and those are scratching the cylinder walls. However, I don't think they would be that hard, but like, would I know? Not sure if that's something that needs to be take care of. Trying to twist the camera to look up. There's really little room. Let's see if there's any drips like in previous one. Okay, so from what I saw, I don't know how much should I worry with the tool now. I will probably inspect it once a year to see if there's any difference, or at least in a half a year, maybe after in the summer. And yeah, I also have this another GX, I can actually, with 50,000 less miles on it, I can probably use it to see what's happening there. Maybe some comparison would help for me. I will take a look at it at some point. So I think overall it's not bad. Should I maybe do a compression test? That probably will like remove any gases probably, and just give like a hard data if any cylinder low on compression or no. So would be nice to hear any opinions, especially pro, or yeah, someone who understand or who saw something from the inside of the engines. And yeah, let's not let it guy die prematurely. Okay, a pro tip. So it was very hard to remove this spark plug harness, and a tip to remove it without pain in your fingers. But you have to do it carefully. You have to know what you're doing. You have to feel it very well, and you have to see what's happening. So basically, just slightly utilizing the tools, you can make it very easy on your fingers. Just don't break anything.